And we are live, I can see. Perfect. Yeah. So welcome to the first ever TRUSTZONE webinar. Hopefully the first of many, but we'll see. My name is Christian Brandenburg, and I'm the new sales engineer here at TRUSTZONE. So today I'm going to give you guys a short presentation of the TRUSTZONE Certificate Manager. If you have any questions during the presentation, please write them in the comment field in the right pane, and in the end of the presentation we'll follow up and have a bit of a Q&A. You will also get a replay link after the presentation, so you can watch it later or share it with your colleagues. So this is our agenda for today. The presentation will run for about 20 minutes, and then we'll have 5 short minutes with some questions if there is any. Yeah. So first of all, the TRUSTZONE Certificate Manager, it's a solution for certificate lifecycle management or certificate automation, you could say. It's being developed by one of our close partners, a Dutch cybersecurity company called KeyTalk, which we have a very close relationship with. So in the product, you will see lots of references to KeyTalk. So first of all, automation always sounds great, but why should you automate your certificates? I mean, a lot of people are doing this manually now, and it might work fine for a lot of people. But we believe that automation of certificates is something you should do, and it's more relevant now than ever before. So I'm sure that a lot of people have joined this webinar because of the recent decision by Apple to only trust 1-year certificates. And Google and Mozilla has been pushing for 1-year certificates for a while now, and they're going to do the same. So next month, of course, the entire PKI industry will switch to 1-year SSL certificates. So this has been the trend for a while, and we expect that in the next few years, we'll see even shorter validity times. We'll probably see 6-month certs the next few years, and I'm sure Let's Encrypt they only do 3-month certs. I'm sure that we'll get to that point too. So you will need automation at some point. I don't think it will be feasible to handle this manually in the future. So you might as well get started with the automation. And of course, forgetting about a certificate is never fun. It's something that can ruin your day. Your boss will be annoyed, your customers will be annoyed, they'll lose trust in you. A lot of people will be confused. Why is there an outage? Why I'm getting this warning? So you might as well take that fear from that and stop worrying about certificate renewals and just automate it. I mean, letting your uptime be ruined by something like a certificate not being renewed it's a really bad idea. So you might as well get these renewals out of the way and use your time on something else. And a lot of the IT people we talk to, they hate certificate handling. It's a big burden for them. They only do it once a year or once every 2 years, and they forget about it. So that's why we like to say that's kind of the motto of the product. Don't hate it, automate it. Yeah, and let's go over some of the key features of the certificate manager. So this is a fully automated solution. You do the setup, you do the configuration, and the certificate manager takes over. So all the manual work there is with a renewal, for example, where you create a new CSR, you have to go to a portal, make an order. Sometimes you need a PFX, a different format, and you can remember where you put the private key, where you created the CSR. All those steps will be handled by this solution. It will be automated. So it is a fire and forget solution. You set it up and then it just runs itself. So you can manage both public certificates and internal certificates with this solution. So you can integrate it with your existing infrastructure. You can push out internal certificates from your Microsoft PKI, for example. This can also be done through the certificate manager. And so you can get, the most important thing about a certificate solution, the overview. An overview of all your certificates, both public and internal. So one of the things that we would like to avoid with this product, that's vendor logging. So at the moment, this solution for public certificates at least is mostly TRUSTZONE certificates. And of course, we would like you guys to use our certificates, of course. But we are expecting to support more certificate authorities in the future. You can still run multiple internal CAs, but there's not a lot of integration with other public CAs in the moment, which we would like to do. Which one, that depends on your guys' feedback and the customer's feedback. So if you have any wishes there, we would like to hear them very much. So this presentation is focused on SSL certificates, but the certificate manager can also manage different types of certificates. For example, a machine certificate, email certificate, SMIME certificates. So if you're looking to protect your organization against attacks like CEO fraud, business email compromise, email set certificates are real good solution to that. And they can be kind of a pain to handle, SMIME certificates. And this product can really help you managing those. So let me go here. Yeah, so there's two parts to the solution. There's an appliance, virtual appliance that you install on your network. It's a virtual machine, so it goes on your hypervisor of choice. We support both Hyper-V and VMware. That's your call, what you want to use. You can also have this appliance in the cloud on Azure or AWS, for example. And if you want, we can also host a solution for you. So that's also an option if you would like that. So the other part of the solution is the agents. So you do need agents to get this system running. All the devices that require certificates, they need an agent. So that's kind of the architecture here. So the appliance itself, it's a hardened Ubuntu Linux box with a certificate manager software installed. It's not a black box that you just have to put on your network and you don't know really what's happening within it. You will get the root access to this. So if you got any monitoring agents or anything security-wise that you want on the machine, you can't do it. You can't put it on the appliance. So how does it actually work? The appliance actually handles all the certificate ordering. So CSR, private key, public key, it all happens on the appliance. The agents, they check up on the devices. So if a device needs a certificate, it's either missing or needs a renewal, the agent will then contact the appliance. The appliance will handle the order and it will send out the certificate to the agent. This also means that all the certificates, they can actually be downloaded for the appliance. So you have like a one-stop shop where you can find all your certificates and get an overview. A great thing about this solution is, of course, there's lines all over here. All the communication between the appliance and the agents happens on port 443, HTTPS. So when you set this up, you won't have a hassle with firewall ports, nothing special that needs to be opened there. So this makes it much easier to manage and set up. So the big question, these agents, what can you install them on? So we support the following operating systems: Windows Server, of course, Linux. We officially support these distros. We also support mobile OSs. Usually not used with SSL, but if you do SMIME or client certificates, you can also get them on your mobile devices. So the agent mostly handles the certificate delivery, checking if the device has a certificate and if it's up for renewal, and the installation of the certificate. That's actually handled mostly by scripts. So on Linux, we got Python scripts. On Windows, it's PowerShell scripts. So you install the agent on your device. These scripts get installed automatically, and you configure them, and then the agent just works. So the agent can deliver the certificate either as a file or in Windows in a certificate store. And then the script usually takes over and handles the installation. So out of the box, we support the following web servers: Microsoft IIS, Apache Tomcat, also IBM WebSphere. So we got pre-made scripts for these web servers. These scripts, they're open source. You can modify them as much as you want. You can make your own. So it's a pretty flexible system. So if you got your own applications or any special use case, of course we can help you, and you can also make your own scripts to integrate with this solution. Yeah. So let's say you like the sound of this, you want to buy the product. What's the process for getting this set up? So we usually say it takes around 3 to 4 hours. That's probably too much, but usually doesn't take that much time, but better safe than sorry. We will help with the installation. We'll be there every step of the way until the solution actually works. This is included in the purchase, so we'll help you get this running. You won't be left over to yourself or just get an installation file and that's it. We'll be with you, and as much as you need, we'll get it running in your system. Of course, there's a few variables for the setup depending on your environment. Authentication, what credential would the agents on your devices use to order the certificates? You got to decide that. You can set this up on the appliance itself. It has a system for that, a module. You can also integrate this with Active Directory, also Azure Active Directory. So your agents can use those credentials to order certificates. So there are multiple ways of doing this. We support a lot of different options there. Then there's also the client enrollment, getting the agent on all your devices. And of course, this really depends on what kind of environment you're running and how it's set up. For Windows, we have a MSI. So if you have a system that rolls those out automatically, a process for this, it won't really take that long to get up running. Configuration. This is done mostly by a configuration file, which you can also automate in various ways. So you can do things manually, and there's also ways to get this out on a lot of different endpoints and get it up running quickly if you want that. Yes, and here we go. So let's just get right to it. The best way to show a product is to actually show it. So I'm gonna share my screen here. Yep. And I hope you guys can see my screen. There we go. So this is the main page for the appliance. It's just a quick status page where you can see if everything is running. Of course, you want all green. And then I'm just going to show you the services tab. And this is where it gets a little bit complicated. What we got here are services. And you should think about services as sort of certificate templates. So each service represents a specific CA, even if it's a public certificate, a specific domain. So for example, right here, I got a service for the domain autossl-on-windows.com, the top level here. I'm just going to show the options here. So as you can see, the signer is a TRUSTZONE managed account. You put all your information here, so you can connect to the API. The profile ID here, the domain ID here is the ID for AutoSSL on Windows on your TrustZone account, for example. So there's a lot of different options here. You don't need to think about most of them. The important one is the signer, of course, and what domains you want on it. And I'm also real quick going to show you guys an internal service here. So the signer for this service is actually the appliance itself. So you can actually run this product as a PKI itself instead of a Microsoft PKI, for example. The great thing about this is the agent that you put on your devices actually also handles installation of root and intermediate certificates for this. So it is really an all-in-one solution for PKI if you want that. So basically, you set up your services. You set up what kind of certificate you want, and you can press here. What services you want. So you can have multiple servers running on a single agent. So you have different kinds of certificates. The same agent will handle that, and you just click create, and you get a configuration file that that you can use. And yeah, it says it's a RCCD file. It's actually just you can rename to a zip file, and you can see what's in it. You can share it publicly. There's no credentials in it or anything that needs to be secret. And of course, you can go in and change different parameters directly in the file if you don't want to do it in the service there. Yeah. So the next big thing when you set this up is authentication. So there's a lot of different options here. Various companies, they got different ways of doing things. So we actually got a lot of different connectors to support that. We got Azure AD, for example, with the Azure module, the LDAP module you can use to link up to Active Directory. For this presentation, I'm just going to show the internal database module here, which is pretty simple and very easy to set up. I'm just going to show this service right here. So you set up your users here, and you can think about the users as certificates. So here I got a lot of different internal certificates. If I want a new certificate, I can just press add, put in a user ID. That's up to what you want there. Put in a password or a PIN code. Depends on how you want the agent to authenticate. actually, there's also a system. So when you install an agent, it actually generates a hardware signature. And you can also customize this if you want, a lot of options. So when you install an agent on a device, it generates this unique hardware signature for the device, and you can log it to that. So you don't even need a password if you want that, but of course we recommend it anyway. And yeah, then it's just put in what you want as a common name. If you want songs, you can put them right here. Just need to put DNS in front of that. So yeah, it's pretty easy to get going, and you press OK, and then the agent is ready to order this certificate. So before we go to the agent, I just want to show you guys the certificate report. So this is a way you can get an overview of all your certificates. You can get for each service a list of all the certificates managers. You can see expiration date, when you will get a warning, put in description. So it's a great way to get an overview. Also, because the appliance handles everything, you can actually go in here, for example, for this certificate, go in, see the certificate, and you can also download it manually as a PM or PFX with the entire chain if you want to. So if you have a device and you can't get an agent on it for some reason, if it's a firewall that doesn't support a Linux agent, for example, or anything like that, you can still do it manually. Of course, you won't get the automation, but you'll still get the overview and knowing where you have the certificate and knowing when it expires and get a message about that. So that's a great thing about this too. You can still do it the old way if you want to, and you don't have to do the change immediately. You can, start off slow and automate as your certificates begin to expire and see what you can integrate it with. Yep, and then I'm just going to show you here. Here I got a Windows Server with the agent installed. This is actually the installations files here, and I also got a settings files. And open it, see what's in there. This can also be automated. So we do have flags, and you can set it with the MSI, set it to install automatically with the configuration file, bundle it. If you want, you just need to make the setting file available to the agents. So I'm just going to show you guys the manual way here. Going to open up the configuration manager. So what you do is you set up tasks. So I got a task here. It's set up with this service. I'm gonna log in with these credentials. I can choose where I want the certificate. Here in Windows to a certificate store. You can also get it as a file if you want to. And I got a IIS server installing this, and it can auto bind to this domain, AutoSSL on Windows. So it's pretty simple to set up. And as I talked to before, it's actually just scripts. So you can see here at the test scheduler, when you install the agent, scripts get installed here. It's set up to check up, for example, here, schedule scripts every minute. And also got the scripts here. You can see these are PowerShell scripts, very well documented. So if you wanted to make your own integration, there's all the tools you need for it. And of course, we'll help with that too if there is. Yeah, and let's just see the time here. Okay. So now for the exciting part. I actually got the task running here. It's bound to this certificate right here. So live on air, I'm actually going to delete this certificate, and the agent should check up and make sure there's a certificate. So I'm gonna do this. I never had this fail on me, but of course, probably shouldn't do it in production. So we're gonna do like this, delete, and then we're gonna wait a minute. Probably gonna be a long minute, and it should appear on a new certificate. So I actually got the certificate on the appliance, so it's not going to go out and buy a new certificate. It's going to reuse the ones which are valid on the appliance. So let me just see here if I do a refresh. Not yet. And any moment now, we should get the new certificate. Yeah, once a minute. A minute takes a long time. And here we go. There we go. Finally, we got the certificate, and it will also bind it automatically. So in a bit of time, yes. So this is pretty much the core functionality of the product. Additional features I can mention is, of course, there's also user management. So you can have different users on the system. These users can have different permission levels, and you can also assign users to specific services. So you can say, okay, this guy only handles this domain, another guy handles this domain. You can set it up so one guy only handles the public certificate, one only handles the internal certificates, for example. Logging, it is a standard Linux virtual machine. So we got syslog, it's integrated with syslog, so it's pretty easy to integrate it into an existing CM system if you got that. And that makes it really easy to do troubleshooting and easy to know what actually goes on in the system. So this is pretty much it for me, for my presentation. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm just gonna check here what kind of questions you guys got. I can press here. Do you have to open port 443 into each machine agent, or only you do have to open port 443 to get this solution to work? And so, great question about network devices. Currently, no. So for your firewalls, load balancers, there's no SCEP or anything implemented that yet. We are thinking about implementing at some point, but at the moment, no. You can get the certificate as it's shown as a PFX or PM, so you can do it manually, but we don't have the automation for that yet, unfortunately. And let's see here. We've been looking at different solutions. How would you say your product holds up to Venafi, for example? Okay. Yeah, so Venafi is the competition. What I can say is they're much more expensive than we are. Of course, they got a lot of different connectors, integrated with a lot more different things. But I say that we have a great relationship with Keytalk, who develops this product. And if you want something customized or support, I'll probably say that we do that better. So you have a direct line to us, direct line pretty much to the Keytalk guys. So we can help you customize your product, and yeah, we are a lot cheaper than Venafi. And any plans for supporting Citrix, ADC, and Cisco firewalls? Not at the moment. Of course, we will, of course, write this down and see if we can do it in the future. What we will support, it kind of depends on the feedback. So if you got a lot of customers asking for Citrix and Cisco firewalls, we'll look into see if we can implement that. Um, any integration to ticket system, ConnectWise, or possible to get mail notes when renewal has been done. So you could set it up with your mail server. So you can get emails when your certificate's about to expire. We don't have a integration with ConnectWise at the moment. But if you are interested in the product, of course, we can look into seeing if we can we can make an integration for you. Um, let's see here. We have a sensor on external power platform, site vision, and our wildcard cert on some cloud platforms and Aruba ClearPass. Okay. Um, yeah, I'm a bit unsure about this one. I mean, if you can get an agent on it, then it works. But on a cloud platform, Aruba ClearPass, we'd have to research that if that actually would work. As a service provider, would we need an appliance for each customer, as in one appliance for multiple customers? So this is the great thing about this product. You can set up different services for each of your customers. And it works on port 443, so shouldn't be an issue with security and opening ports or anything. So yeah, you could have one appliance that you handle and have services for your different customers. That is possible. Um, can you add a device to a certificate where it is installed when done manually? Where is it? It is installed. I'm a bit unsure about the question. Um, when done manually. If you do things manually with the appliance, I mean, you just download the certificate and that's it. It doesn't know what device it goes on or anything. If you can get the agent on, yeah, you can link up the agent with the certificate that's already in store if you want. Lots of questions. Will you be able to add trusted certificate and to Wise terminal clients? Also a bit unsure on that, unfortunately. We don't have that much experience with Wise terminal clients. Um, if I don't know what operating system they run, the Linux client that works on pretty much everything. Of course, if it's Windows IT Core or something like that, we could probably get it to work too. But we'll have to do some research there if you want to. And for Michael, any possibility to only create renew the cert as files? We would like to copy cert to the web server nodes with no integration between the agent and the web server. Yeah, you can get the certificate as a file, and there's also an API on the system. So yeah, you can integrate it into your own application. It does take some work, but it is doable. So all the applications that need certificate, then we need to build scripts for every application. Yeah, if it's not one of the supported application for web servers are shown, you will need to build scripts, but you can set it up. For example, if it can, if it's an application that just checks something in a Windows certificate store, for example, you can set it up so it just puts in a certificate in the certificate store. That is correct. And here, only portfolio for outgoing from the client. Yeah, you do need to open port 443 to get it. And here's a really good one from Michael. How about vetting for domains you don't own? So the appliance is linked up to, for example, a TRUSTZONE managed SSL account. And you do have to vet your domains. So this is usually done where you get a domain validation code, you have to put in the DNS or something like that. So there will be, you do have to do the vetting. It is like when you order certificates. I mean, you do need to prove that you own the domain or have access to the domain. Yep. Any plans for supporting Microsoft RDP farms, certificate handling? Yeah, if we get customers who would like that, we'll look to integrate that. And that's Jan with pricing. You can talk to an account manager, and I'm sure they can give you a price. I'm not really I'm the money guy, so I'm not. I can't answer that question, unfortunately. Can it handle a PKE management system for laptops that are trusted in an internal network? Yeah, it can do that. It can do that. Let's encrypt only support DV certs. Will this support all the way up to OV and EV? Yes, OV certificates, EV certificates, they are supported in this product. So you can get your EVs, you can get your OVs, and you can get them automated. The whole vetting thing is done with pre-vetting. So you do vet your domains or your profile once a year. And then you can just order as many certificates from your domains as you want. So that is, and oh, I can see the key agent can run RDP farms. So that is actually already supported. You can see here from Mike. It's probably Mike from KeyTalk. Yeah. And yeah, I think that is pretty much it for all the answers. I hope you guys enjoyed this small presentation. I can see Dane coming. Well, last minute question here. Can the appliance link to a DNS server so the vetting is automated? Not at the moment, but we are looking into that. Unsure, it probably won't be automated. And there's a lot of different DNS systems, so it'll probably be something where you get the code and you do have to put it up manually. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, but I hope you guys enjoyed the presentation. If you think about any questions later or anything, you can just take a hold of your account manager or anything, and we can help you. And I hope you guys got something out of it, and that you will like the product. Yeah, thank you, Jon. So yeah, that's pretty much all for me today. So I hope you guys have a nice day, and I hope we'll talk again soon if you buy it. Okay.